Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, all of my brothers and sisters in Islam and all of those not in Islam. Welcome to my channel. Today it's been brought upon my heart to, give you guys a message that I've been given, and it's in just the beauty of Islam. And as I was putting my coffee together this morning, I received a message from my youngest child's father, who I'm no longer married to. And he sent me several pictures of our daughter and my oldest two kids as they were growing up from, his phone, and I've never even seen some of the pictures. He kindly said good morning, and, I hope that these are pleasant for you, and, life just passes by so fast, and it's good to just keep a good heart and peace within. And that really touched me because some of the things that him and I have seen it's always been tumultuous, and I found peace in Islam. And I discovered that when you are interacting with people that are not necessarily at the level of peace that you may be, or you may not be at it yourself, you have to look at that person for who they actually are. Discover them. And you don't necessarily have to be around that person to fully discover them, but analyze them, pay attention to them, observe them, and understand that people are just people. And sometimes we set expectations for people that are not always fair. We come into relationships and partnerships and friendships, and even with our family, we set expectations for people that they really can't live up to, but we expect them to live up to them because we think we know them well enough. And it's not always fair, and it's not always accurate. So one of the things I've learned since I became a Muslim 2.5 years ago is when I converted, is that love people for who they are. And genuine, real love is just that. It's not us putting our opinions or expectations or visions onto anybody else, but it's looking at them, respecting them, and loving them for who they are. Even the things we don't like about them. You don't have to love those things about that person, but at the end of the day, you love that person, so those things won't interfere with your relationship with them, and if it's a marriage or if it's a life partnership, I understand there's things that you are not going to be able to deal with, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be in that situation, but at the end of the day, don't burn those relationships. Do not burn them. Don't kill them. Because people are ever evolving. We're ever evolving people. We're always learning. We're always growing. Our minds are always expanding. And some people are stagnant. They're not growing. They're not expanding. They're just kind of stuck in a pattern or a cyclical, habitual habit in their life. And there's no progression. That doesn't mean that you don't have to love that person, because that person needs just as much as love as you do. And as you evolve, you don't necessarily need to shed those people, but if you feel like you do it. Do it for your best peace and interest at heart. But at the end of the day, if they need you, if it's a helping hand that you can provide when it's their time to shift, be there. Because I believe that Allah gives us these opportunities to evolve rapidly, because we are supposed to be trailblazers for those that are not. And in time, people find their own way on their own path, and sometimes we all wind up at the same location. And this is something that I've learned over life, and really since I converted to Islam, and finding peace not just within myself but with everybody else. Not running into conflicting situations. And in order to deal with that, one of the things I've discovered is how we respond to things is what makes the situation what it is. So say, for instance, someone is upset and they come off very arrogant, or they come off very demanding or assertive, and it may not be something they're trying to do intentionally. And even if they are trying to do it intentionally, it's a reflection of something that they're dealing with inside. It's all how you respond to it. How you respond to it sets the tone on how the conversation will go, or how your interaction with that person will go. And you can literally change their mind, change their views, change their emotions, and everything. And sometimes that's a charity in itself. You know, someone who's going through something horrible, they could have lost a family member, got laid off from their job, that anything could have happened and they're not talking about it, but they're expressing it in their emotions, and it's reflective in the conversation. So you just simply turn that conversation around and be pleasant. When people give you fire, give them water. You know, fire is not always the best way to handle things, but you can cool fire. You can put a fire out with water. So trying that method has also helped me to have better communication with people that are close to me, that are going through things, you know. And it's also it's created peace within our relationships and our conversations and within myself. And I've created this intense serenity within. So when there is chaos, I find that place and I sit there on my internal throne of peace, and no one's able to shake it. And it's something that I had to create for myself, so that I'm not constantly pulled into other situations, into other people's feelings, because ever since I was a young girl, I was empathic, and being empathic is something that can be very difficult. Like, if you're empathic, being empathic is difficult because you may find that you're feeling the pain of others. If a person is sick, if a person is dying, you feel those things that they're going through. You feel their pain and their sorrow, and sometimes it may even be to the point where you're ill. You may be completely sick and you don't know why. But being a young girl and having empathic abilities was difficult for me, and it wasn't until I found Islam that I was able to find peace in it. I found peace in it, and I'm able to open back up. And I'm not saying I'm fully open now, because currently I'm in the process of opening back up to my empathic abilities, because I basically put a wall up. I put a wall up so that I didn't have to deal with those emotions and those feelings based off of other people. Because I have my own things to deal with. But in the midst of putting that wall up with other people and not tuning in and feeling their pain and understanding what they're going through on that frequency, I've actually shut off my own emotions, and it's not healthy. So as I open up and develop safer habits of dealing with my empathic abilities, I've realized that there's that place that I created all by the grace of Allah. If it wasn't for Islam, I probably wouldn't have found it, because I traveled through every religion in this lifespan. And it wasn't until I arrived at Islam that I actually found peace. And this is something to me that's more valuable than gold and diamonds, is peace. You know, everybody wants something out of life, and most importantly for me is peace. So anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that note. Love everybody for who they are. Find your peace within. Don't necessarily separate, but learn people and learn how to communicate with them effectively, and pour water on that fire, and everything will be good. Inshallah. Thank you for coming to my channel. Have a good day.